Hi, everybody. I'm Susie. I'm 34 years old, and what I'm about to tell you will make you rethink your relationship with the in laws. My husband Tom and I have been married for over 3 years now, so I'm much loved by the family except for my mother in law, Bernice. She hasn't really done anything to hurt me or has said anything rude. She just feels off. I never said anything to my husband for fear of overthinking something that isn't such. For the most part, she lives off her deceased husband's money, so that isn't an issue for her. But whenever we go out to dinner or decide to do family road trips, she's constantly pressurizing us to buy her meals, rooms, and such. My husband has two other younger brothers and one younger sister. She never asks them for money. Every Wednesday, we go out to dinner as a family. But since the holiday season was approaching and we wanted to save money, I volunteered to cook dinner at home for everyone. No one had a problem with it except my mother in law. She threw such a fit that my husband ordered food to go so she could eat it at the dinner table. Everyone else ate my pasta, and might I add, it was delicious. She was still huffy. If your father were still alive, this wouldn't slide. You know that, Tom. Everyone went quiet. My sister in law, Leela, excused herself to the restroom, and my two brothers in law, Ted and Phil, went outside for a smoke. I am just saying, who cares what mom wants? I had enough of her attitude. Bernice, don't you think you're being too harsh? She looked at me with disgust. My husband didn't say a word and kept eating his food, which only made me more angry. The rest of the dinner was somewhat awkward, but we made it through. I collected all the dishes, including my mother in law's. She made my husband transfer her to go food on one of the china plates so she wouldn't feel left out. I stacked the dishes in the sink. I was tired and annoyed by the situation, so I would have to wash them in the morning. Later that night, I asked why Tom didn't say anything. She's getting older, Susie. What do you expect? She just lost the love of her life. It would do us some good to give her some slack. Hell, maybe we should give her a grandchild. I knew he was joking in the latter. We had agreed that we weren't going to have children, but Tom was right. His mom was well into her 70s. She had her kids on the later side of age. But no matter what, they all turned out amazing individuals. I wonder how. That morning, while drinking my coffee, I began washing the dishes. As I aimlessly put them away, I noticed the stack didn't reach the top of the cabinet. That was odd, so I counted the plates. There were only 5. Where was the 6th one? I checked back into the sink, but there were no dishes left. Tom! He was watching TV in the living room. What's the matter, honey? We're missing one of our china plates. What? He came into the kitchen. Where did you put it? I don't know. I don't think I washed it. It was bizarre, to say the least. We checked the dining room, kitchen table, and anywhere that seemed plausible. But there was nothing. I began to have a funny feeling in the pit of my stomach, but I couldn't place where it was coming from. Was our house haunted? Did someone break into our home to steal one single china plate? I was rather confused and quite alarmed. Tom was too, but what could we do? We couldn't do anything about it, so we had to let it go. It was just a plate that vanished. I didn't begin suspecting my mother in law was the culprit until we saw her at church on Sunday. I wore a modest plain dress only because the jewelry Tom gifted me on our anniversary last year was what I wanted people to pay attention to. I wore two diamond earrings. After the service, everyone wouldn't stop complimenting the earrings. I was getting rather shy. Aren't those darling? That looks like something your father would have bought me, she said to Tom rather than to me. She had a look in her eye as if she wanted to say something rather cruel. Instead, she said, "We should have some late breakfast together. I have missed you, Tom. You never come to visit anymore. I wonder why." "Oh, I've been busy with work, Mom. But of course, yes, come over for breakfast." For the most part, she didn't even acknowledge I existed. She continuously stirred her cup of tea, holding herself back from a cackle. Whenever I would say anything to contribute to the conversation, she would just hum and look right back at Tom. He didn't notice her attitude. I mean, why would he? She was always like this when I was around. Amidst their conversation, I excused myself to our bedroom. I took my heels off, put the earrings in their box, and tied my hair up. When I came back, Bernie scoffed. "All that hard work down the drain already?" It was a backhanded compliment, to say the least, but Tom paid it no mind. After a while, she excused herself to the restroom, but instead of going to the one down the hall by the kitchen, she headed towards our bedroom. "Bernice, the bathroom is that way." I pointed down the hallway. "I know, sweetheart, but that one always smells so foul. Would it really be a bother if I used yours?" She is such a liar. I never had ever gotten a complaint about our main bathroom. But again, Tom said nothing, which meant nothing would happen if I pushed further. Bernice left before lunch came rolling around. By the time I had changed my dress for some loungewear, the rest of the evening went on beautifully. Bernice always appeared to sour the mood whenever she was around, but when she left, everything was back to the way things were. The following Wednesday, we had our usual family dinner. Bernice stayed quiet about eating in this time, as our daughter decided to come early to our house to cook dinner. Instead of complaining about eating at home, she only mused about Leela's cooking. Leela's casserole was delicious, and I had no complaints. But I couldn't stand the subtle jabs of what Bernice would say. "This is by far the best home-cooked meal I have had. Why didn't you cook last week for us? You will make a beautiful wife someday." During dinner, Leela turned to me, musing over the earrings I wore at church. "Tom sure knows how to pick the right pair, huh?" "I guess so. Everyone loved them, even your mom." I couldn't help but add that. Bernie shot a dagger my way but said nothing, chewing slower on her bite. "Can I take a picture of them? I want to drop a hint to my boyfriend about it since Christmas is around the corner." "No problem. I'll grab them after dinner." When everyone moved to the den, I went to my bedroom to scavenge the earring box. I'm relatively organized, so I expected it to be right in the front center in the first drawer. The entire box was missing. This is where I always put my earring sets. Never have I misplaced a set so wonderful. I began to panic, trying to retrace my steps the last time I wore them. I entered the bathroom and looked around the sink and medicine cabinet. Why would it be here? "Tom!" I screamed for him, and he rushed to my side, concern laced across his face. "What's the matter?" I can't find my diamond earrings anywhere. Where did you last put them? Where I always put them at. My eyes were stinging with tears. We searched up and down the bedroom together, but we couldn't find them. Eventually, we went downstairs. What happened? Susie lost her earrings. I didn't lose them. They just vanished out of thin air. Everyone in the den, except Bernice, began to murmur apologies and convey concern over where the jewelry must be. Like before, Bernice just kept staring at her teacup. That's when I got the idea she was behind taking them, but I didn't have solid evidence. Heaven forbid I accuse her of things I have no proof of. Call it a hunch. I pegged it off as paranoia. Maybe I did misplace the box and left it out where it could fall in the corner of the room. That cannot be possible, though. I'm not that careless. The final straw was at Bernice's dinner party for her 75th birthday. Everything seemed to go well with the family, and a few distant cousins and relatives appeared. I wasn't familiar with many of them, so I felt a little uneasy. Amongst all the busyness, I put my purse along with Leela's in the guest room, fearing that maybe another object of mine would go missing. The whole night I kept checking to see if my purse was still there, and it was. Eventually I was happy and decided to loosen up with everyone else. Bernice paid me no mind, and the night was actually lovely. The following day I went to buy groceries, but when I reached in for my purse, lo and behold, my Louis Vuitton wallet was nowhere to be seen. I last put it in my purse from the night before. Heck, I even checked inside the bag a few times. But I must not have checked it before going home from all the festivities and drinking. I was in pure embarrassment as I held up the line. I called Tom as soon as possible and began crying in the speaker full of hysteria. Darling, what's wrong? My wallet, my wallet, it's gone. What? I drove back home without groceries and tired out of my mind. Together we returned to Bernice's and scavenged the house. It was nowhere to be found. What a shame, she said before stifling a laugh. I think that's quite rude of you to be laughing at such a serious matter. It was in your house after all. Are you accusing my family of stealing your wallet? How dare you? No, I'm accusing you. I know you don't like me. Bernice feigned shock, looking straight at Tom in disbelief. Why would she steal from us? Come on, honey, you need to calm down. She has some vendetta against me, I swear it, Tom. Ever since we decided to eat at our house, she's been overtly rude. I am so sick of it. I will not have a horrid girl yelling crazy allusions. Get her out of here, Tom. Gladly, I bellowed out. Tom and I argued the whole car ride back home, and it didn't get any better. He went straight to our bedroom and slammed the door. I was left alone in the kitchen. To calm myself, I opened the cardboard to get a glass. What had me fuming next was that the entire china set was gone, nowhere to be seen. I was beyond livid and had enough sense to not go back to Bernice's to cause havoc. Instead, I convinced Tom to buy cameras and change our locks. His mother had a key, but I managed to stifle him by not getting her another set. It was a compromise I was willing to make. We were no longer hosting dinner at her house, and everything seemed to return to normal. But I was still feeling at a loss for my wallet. It was the most expensive thing I owned besides my earrings. I was not going to ask Tom for another set as we were trying to be more mindful of our money since Christmas was in a week. I decided to go to Craigslist of all places to see if there was a similar wallet of the same caliber. I had many different types of earrings, but I only had one wallet, gone, with my debit cards, spare cash, and ID. It was a hit. After 10 minutes of searching, I found an identical wallet. To my surprise, as it was now a few years old, I went to contact the merchandiser, but as I clicked on call, I noticed the area code was the same as mine. I got a sick feeling in the pit of my stomach again. It wouldn't hurt to check, so I grabbed my phone from the charger, and there was my answer. It was Bernice's phone number. My skin began to boil. How cruel! How deviant! I looked further into her profile and saw she also was selling my china set plates and earrings. This could have all ended here and now had I gone to my husband, but I decided I had enough of the games. Besides, she deserved this one. I had to be quick though, or in no doubt someone would nab the wallet and everything else. Good thing it looked like she just created the account. I played nice with my husband that night and told him that it would serve us well to have the family over for dinner one last time before Christmas. That way, me and Bernice could bury the hatchet. During dinner, while everyone was busy eating and musing together, I ensured everyone's bags were hanging in the closet so as not to get in the way of the chairs at the dinner table. Sneakily, I went into the closet, grabbed Bernice's purse, and dug for her debit card. She won't notice it was gone now, would she? I had to be quick. I'll be right back. I forgot my phone upstairs, I announced. Why do you need your phone? Don't you want to be with your family? She would have something snide to say. I'll be quick. It took a matter of seconds to purchase all my items under her card, and I made sure to put my address so she would know it was me. It serves her right. It was radio silent for the next couple of days, but that didn't last long. Bernice called me on the phone the day before Christmas Eve. Tom was at work at the time. Hello, Bernice. What a wonderful surprise. I know what you did. And I know what you did. Let's call this even, shall we? Bernice huffed. I won't tell Tom if that's what you are worried about. She didn't say anything. Instead, she asked for her card back. I told her I would give it to her during our Christmas Eve dinner tomorrow. I have the box of items in my bedroom closet. You can grab it after dinner. Just tell Tom that it's just some clothes I'm giving away to the church and that you're being a doll and dropping them off for me. I wasn't satisfied. Why did you do all of this? She said nothing and hung up on me. She really thought she could get away with stealing our items without explanation? Sure, Tom would probably be mad that I stole her card, but I wasn't going down without a fight. Christmas Eve had finally arrived. I knew exactly what I was going to do. I slipped her card back into her purse, ensuring she saw me while everyone else was cheering and opening presents in the living room. I grabbed a glass of champagne and turned to my siblings-in-law, husband, and cousins. I have a few words to share. I want to pay tribute to my oh-so-lovely mother-in-law for hosting this dinner for us. Bernice pained a smile. I would also like to share a precious yet peculiar story about Bernice. Her skin turned pale just then, but no one seemed to notice. Bernice has been stealing and selling things from my house online. Susie, that's enough. No, it's true, Tom. I swear it. I found her profile and matched her phone number. This is ridiculous. Don't listen to her, Tom. Check her bedroom closet. You'll find it there. Tom, no, don't. If this will get her to stop, so be it. But if there isn't a sign or a trace of it, we may have to reconsider our marriage. He trudged upstairs along with his two brothers Phil and Ted. Leela and I followed behind, with Bernice at the bottom of the stairs. After some rummaging, there stood one brown box in the middle of the closet. In it was precisely all the things his mother had stolen and then some. Stuff I hadn't even realized had gone missing. A bathing suit top, our wedding video, even an old necklace Tom bought me during our first year of marriage. What in the world? Why would Mom do this? I have no idea. I stood there only a few feet away, huffed out in pent-up rage. And you didn't believe me? She planted it there, Tom. I swear it. She's crazy. I am not the crazy one. You are. Well, you're the one that stole my card to buy your stuff back. The truth was out, and there was no turning back now. Why would you do this to us? You made Susie look crazy? After your father died, I thought you would take care of me. You're the oldest after all, but no. Instead, you spent all your time with your wife. It's bad enough I have to be around her. That's not a good excuse. I can't believe you. That night was the last we saw of Bernice. Tom did not like the lying, not one bit. His siblings still talk with his mom. But from what Leela says, at least their relationship with her has been strained. It's those little things you begin to pick up. If Bernice isn't careful, by the end of the year, none of her kids will be talking to her. Now we do holiday dinners at my house, and unfortunately for Bernice, but fortunate for me, she eats sad and alone. I hope she rethinks what she did, and if she is woman enough to apologize, maybe, just maybe, I could forgive and forget. Tom thought it was absolutely genius to repurchase our stuff using her card. He kept apologizing profusely over the matter. But it didn't matter. I got the long overdue payback. Our relationship has been restored.